Welcome back, guys, to another reincarnation. Yeah, exactly. Welcome to another reincarnation. Today's reincarnation is gonna be Blame Yourself. A title I don't really remember, but that makes it all the more interesting. That's what we call an intro right here. It's also interesting that this idea of this calm intro exploding into a very loud song kind of also seems to originate here. I think mood-wise it has a bit of that Force of Courage album in my opinion. Although like the general sound of the song is something pretty new. I get a lot of like more Western vibes here. I like how the second guitar moves here. Yeah, that's really cool. That's a really cool little hook they have there in the melody. Just this general, like, very full, warm rock sound they create here. Fits very well with the album cover, I would say. And, you know, we have a very nuanced integration of this Yamabe power metal thing here we had in like Beyond the End of Despair. They've added a lot of stuff around it. It's not just a power metal song. As mentioned, I really like the riffage here because it's like very varied. It switches between a lot of very groovy patterns. Sometimes we heard, for example, in Cry for the Dark, this is what I immediately remember, but there's also different stuff. It's a certain sense of evolving, which was also already, introduced in the intro, actually, where something slowly started to flower up, I would say. Right, and it stops here, but then it starts with another iteration, and this continues. You know, and then that was really cool. Like the whole thing, you know, we have this like really calm, nice intro. I put my volume a little bit louder because, like, you know, it was rather calm, and then there was just this explosion of sound. Is that 2 guitars or is that the keyboard? I think it's 2 guitars. How fast that also moves, it's really cool. At this point, it sounds really thick, like, especially like with the drums and everything. I'm listening to this on my headphones, but like, I feel the double bass pumping in my chest. The riff. There it is. Yeah. Damn, that was absolutely crazy. If you wanted me to sum up what we just listened to, I wouldn't be able to do that. That's like... That's some heavy... And also how they vary that. I think they have a certain core idea. They start off with a kind of accent and note, and then they're doodling around that, right? But there's just a lot of variation of this central concept. Right? And it sounds so chaotic. And the double pedals here joining in. Bit calmer section here with the palm units. The swelling is also really cool. that little roll they have there. Yeah, those are two guitar voices, I guess. Yeah, funnily enough, when Shu does those really long shreds, he has those go-to phrases sometimes he plays quite often in those cases. That's not to say that it's not fitting. I think that was a very satisfying shred section there in the end. Again, had a bit of that comfy character. I just always get that, you know. It's all very fast, but when he gets bluesy, like switching from that rather neoclassical or whatever he's playing to that bluesy, I don't know what it is, but it just has this comfy character and it just feels a bit like returning home, right? So yeah, I think like a central metaphor, I get a lot of this like cover art. We have a bit of like flowering character evolving, which was embodied of course by like the very fast movement through different riffs and ideas which we had here. But also the idea of, you know, a center where stuff revolves around. We had a lot of like chaos all around us, which played on several layers. At least it sounded like that. Yeah, there is a lot of movement in the background. And melodically, it's a pretty nice song. Like, we can look for a second if there is a live version, because as usual, the outro, and in fact, there is a live version with Shaw, which seems to be the newer version. But I would prefer to keep that for later. We're still in the Yamabi era, although not for long anymore, to be fair. Aside from that, I really don't have much else to say, so we can just move on to the lyrics. Blame yourself. I'm watching the scene. Impudent man sneers. Honest man is blamed. I'm disgusted. I don't understand what's right and what's wrong. They want to judge the people living hard every day, repeating years of past, playing with the dark. They want to judge the people who are going to be free. Polluting years of past, try to listen to your heart. Can you feel your evilness? Are you sure to live justly? You are the same as me. Yeah, so there's a kind of sense of injustice in the world. I think it's rather general in the point, but like we have this here, right? Impudent man sneers, honest man is blamed. This is kind of the concept here, that there's unrightful bad treatment of people who don't deserve that, and there's other people who are like unrightfully judging, or they want to judge the people living hard every day, repeating years of past. So playing with the dark, it seems it could refer to like something like bad mental states, depression or whatever. That would be an example of that. Perhaps, you know, the judging of people who don't behave optimally because they, you know, have their struggles and they can't do better. It seems to move somewhat into that direction. Try to listen to your heart. Can you feel your evilness? So they're questioning, are you aware of your own flaws and like evil, so to speak? Are you really able to judge others in that way? You are the same as me. Everyone has that kind of good and bad qualities. Somebody else is sacrificed. All of us stand on the earth of corpse. Play with the toy of the meaningless in the night of ignorance. Somebody else is sacrificed. All of us stand on the earth of corpse. Play with the joy of the meaningless in the night of ignorance. That seems to be the chorus, maybe. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, you know. Somebody else's sacrifice is always easier to sacrifice someone else you coin as bad for whatever reason than to pose that same judgment onto yourself for the very same reason. All of us stand on the earth of corpse. I mean, that's very visual, but also a weird translation, I suppose. It kind of means that, you know, the ground you are specifically standing on, there is corpses in there, and those corpses are everyone you judged unrightfully, or you harmed, or you know. Play with the joy of the meaningless in the night of ignorance. Night of ignorance is like a cool image here as well. I mean, the ignorance aspect should be pretty obvious, but it's also much amplified by the night aspect. Everything is darkened by this ignorance, and everyone just like roams in that and has the feeling they can kind of do what they want. The joy of the meaningless. And that's the thing, like if you take a reflective stance onto that, like is assumed here in the song, I think, are you sure to live justly? There's a questioning of this. And one might recognize that all the justification one might like feel for antagonizing someone, whatever, is kind of meaningless in the end. Rain falls down, but my dishonor isn't wiped out. All I need is miracle. I'm disgusted. I don't understand what's right and wrong. Rain falls down, you know, but it doesn't wash away the dishonor. We still have this idea of something filthy coming up. I think that was in the last song. Yeah, Blast of Hell, exactly. Where there was some dark, filthy mess popping up, right? From somewhere, from the depths. We still have this idea here. They want to change the world, only temporary pleasure, polluting years of past. Try to listen to your heart. Can you feel your evilness? Are you sure to live justly? You're the same as me. They want to change the world, only temporary pleasure. It's just a temporary notion. It's like a cool idea. I'm sitting here, I'm not really doing anything, but like I'm seeing something bad on the internet or whatever, and I think, well, I want to change the world. I want to make the world a better place, but that's just a temporary feeling, and it flies by and then it's over, and that's kind of it, right? Wanting to change the world in a passive way like that, it's just a temporary feeling one has, which comes and goes just as other things come and go in a very fast, rapid manner. And I think it's pointing toward that, right? And again, like we have this idea of pollution here, years of past. I think like just in general, all of like humanity's history, right? You cannot change anything about that. You can really just like influence stuff in the present, right? And if one, for whatever reason, creates even more pollution to this, that's kind of like not a good thing to do, I suppose. Somebody else has sacrificed, all of us stand on the earth of corpse, play with the joy of the meaningless in the night of ignorance. That's a really cool chorus, I like that, but I think, yeah, there's not really change here. So, striding out, my heart is beating so fast, morning light is rising up for me, striding out, my heart is beating so fast, now the time to fight. That's kind of like freeing sounding, maybe also the music sounds a bit freeing at this spot, maybe it's after the solo, but you know, it's starting with striding out, that already sounds freeing. My heart is beating so fast, yeah, I'm excited, morning light is rising up for me. I don't know what caused that progression or what it's implicating here, but it's just a very nice little spot because everything else is rather dark. Although the song, it sounds really full and intense and all of that stuff, but it's not really dark sounding, which is interesting. I think melancholy would rather be a fitting description. I'm watching the scene, impudent man sneers, honest man is blamed. I'm disgusted, I don't understand what's right and wrong. Yeah, just let's go through that. I think that's a lot of repetition again. They want to judge the people by living hard every day, repeating years of past, playing with the dark. They want to judge the people who are going to be free. Just a deadline maybe. It's also interesting, like, I don't know if this means that people who are living hard every day, that they will eventually be free. I mean, could potentially refer to a certain ego death one could experience, for example, after a rather intense depression, which would be like repeating years of past, playing with the dark. That's kind of the idea of the Jungian shadow and stuff. So that could be like referring to this. So they're going to be free then, or maybe it's just like judging people who are freed for whatever reason from whatever suffering. And then there's like other people watching and thinking, well, why are they going to be free? Why am not I going to be free? Stuff like that. So envy also for stuff that is really outside of or control. Polluting years of past, try to listen to your heart. Can you feel your evilness? Are you sure to live justly? You're the same as me. Yeah, and that's just ends off with the chorus. It's the same thing. Very stable here also. Yeah, I think we had the chorus 3 times then. Very nice song. Enjoyed it a lot. Lyrics were very interesting again. Gets, of course, rather reflexive and philosophical here. Almost gets a bit Jungian in this regard. You know, dealing with the shadow and like looking at the self and at the bad things which might someone like repress and reflect out into the world onto others. And those are, of course, like very important questions. It kind of makes sense that there's a certain melancholy about it, because if you really look at this issue, which kind of everyone deals with, but many people don't seem to be that aware of, it's kind of sad, but you cannot do anything about that pretty much. So we have Who Wrote Blame Yourself, and it's written by Yamabi and Shu. Nice, guys. So then, that was Blame Yourself by Galneryus. Hope you enjoyed the song. If you did so, I don't know, maybe tune in next time, because there will be another nice song. I think that will be in the music video, actually. That will be the music video, guys. So, stay tuned.